South Africa is so dangerous, they said. Johannesburg, it's the capital of this statistic and that statistic, they said. Cape Town, oh, it's so dangerous, they said. Well, after living in after living in Johannesburg and spending extensive time in both Cape Town and Johannesburg, in this video, I'm going to tell you whether or not I believe South Africa is dangerous. Welcome to my channel. I'm Ashley. On my channel, Ashley in Africa, I talk about my experience living, moving, and doing business here in South Africa. I'm currently in my office in Cape Town. Yes, you heard it right. I have an office in Cape Town and a business in Cape Town that I can't wait to share with you. But this video isn't about that. This video is about if South Africa is so dangerous. So if you have an interest in this type of content and it resonates with you, please be sure to like this video, share it with someone who finds value in it, and subscribe to the channel. So welcome back. If you're not new, welcome family. We're growing. I know you missed me. I was gone. I was in Tanzania living my best life. And now I'm back in South Africa, living my even better life. Okay. And I want to talk about the dangers of South Africa. So if you are not following me on Instagram, head over to Instagram and see what's been going on. Guys, since I left Johannesburg, my Instagram has gone crazy. After specifically posting something about the cost of living in Johannesburg, and while I did it, I was inspired by another creator who posted the cost of living, and I've actually never posted a cost of living video on YouTube, which I will do. It blew up and it got a lot of negative content at first, but then a whole bunch of positive content. And now we're back in this influx of negative content, specifically around Johannesburg being so dangerous. And I'll say that I get this feedback from both South Africans and people living abroad. And while, yes, I will not discount the fact that there is crime in Johannesburg, I'm also not going to discount the fact that the richest square mile of Africa, which is also the richest continent on earth, is in Johannesburg. I will repeat that. The richest square mile of the African continent, which is the richest continent on earth, is in Johannesburg. So you're not going to convince me that my proximity to the richest square mile of Africa does not afford me a certain lifestyle and an opportunity to be in the launch pad of where it means to be doing business in Africa. And I get it. Most people aren't even considering that. They're not even thinking of that. But wealthy people do not live in the most dangerous place in the world. And if so, let's review and consider other cities like New York, like Paris, France, like London, UK, London, England, excuse me. And so on and so forth, right? Miami, Florida. I mean, these cities have enormous amounts of wealth and they also have some crime. And I'm not discounting the crime, but I am saying that my life in Johannesburg is fabulous. And I'm sharing that with the people. But we want to talk about the dangers, right, that exist. And if so, I do have friends that tell me you shouldn't be walking anywhere. When I do, I take walks to, here and there. They my South African friends, they kind of like curl their eyebrows, like, what are you doing? But for me, I feel very safe walking. And I see other people walking too. Now, I'm not walking after dark. I'm not walking way too early in the morning. I'm walking when there are people walking, and I live in a pretty secure neighborhood with adequate security along the way. And I feel very safe. Again, I recognize that there are parts of Johannesburg that do not have this level of security and are not afforded that luxury. But I will say that I avoid drama. I don't see drama. I'm also not seeing things like, intense, road rage and people yelling at each other, which is what I would experience in parts of, the very wealthy suburb that I lived in, Georgia, in Atlanta. So my experience is that no, it is not as dangerous as it has been discussed to be. And you guys, don't go off of these things, these shows that you see, just like the shows that we watch. In the US, a lot of creativity, a lot of media, a lot of movies are inspired by the gangster culture and the mobster culture and the crime culture that exists in these major metropolitan world-class cities. And so, yeah, these are movies, these are TV shows meant to incite entertainment, not incite fear. But unfortunately, the kind of ongoing messaging about the continent of Africa and many of the developing nations is intentionally provoking fear, I'd say, upon tourism, but tourism specifically in certain cultures, right? Because I see folks of every other color and nationality in Johannesburg and Cape Town as at a macro level than I do people from the diaspora, right, coming to South Africa. So again, yes, there is crime, but you will not convince me, that these rich, wealthy corporations have chosen to come here and did not consider that, right? Statistics. I'm a statistician fan. I'm an economist that lives off of data. But I also am a person that is tapped into my spiritual core. And I recognize that there is something that fear does intentionally to keep people from moving and to keep others from staying in place, right? So I've heard horror stories, yes, but I'm also looking at the gun violence, the mental health crisis, the mass shooting epidemic, the police brutality, the mass incarceration of innocent men and women that are being acquitted at a trickle-down rate, and the abduction and trafficking of women and children. America's doing a great job of convincing you that it's a safe place when your nervous system knows better. My nervous system is at peace, is at ease. Now, I also move with a level of intention. And so you want to consider what life looks like in a South Africa, Johannesburg, or Cape Town. You have to be connected with yourself. You have to use intuition. You have to use discernment. You have to use your common sense, okay? And when you do those things combined, you will have a glorious experience. You absolutely will. And to all of those that say, oh, this romanticizing of Africa has to stop, it absolutely does not, and it will not here on my channel, because I romanticize my life, because my life is beautiful and I desire nothing but a beautiful life. So why else would I do anything different, right? Why else would I do anything different? I know where I come from. I come from, a lot of struggle, a lot of challenges, but that's not how my life looks today. And I will have to add that that is due to my belief, my faith system, my spiritual connection with Source, the divine God, the ultimate creator. I am a walking testimony of what it means to create the life that you desire. And a part of that means intuition, discernment, having a connection with God that says, move this way, moving according to my will, not theirs, not their fearfulness, not their doubt, not their, fear and lack mentality. So the best place to live does not exist. And while I do love my country, things are just not looking up. And from a safety perspective, if you are sitting in the United States of America and you're worried about safety, I can assure you, your nervous system knows better. It is your mind that is telling you otherwise because of whatever content you are consuming. And don't take my word for it. There are millions of people living in this country, living very well. And yes, there are some that are not living so well, but that is the opportunity that exists when we decide to shift to places where we're treated best and go into developing economies, to find peace and ease, but also to find opportunities to create and to serve. And so, that's my thought. There is no perfect place on earth. But once everybody decides that a place is perfect or everybody decides that a place is horrible, by that time, well, it may be too late. So if you have an interest to live abroad, move to the continent, move specifically to South Africa, do business here, you do not want to miss the Travel, Move, and Do Business virtual conference for South Africa. The link is in the description below. We've got speakers, experts, and expats that have made this move, that have been living in South Africa for a collective of 7 to 10 years, that are doing business and tourism, agriculture, tech. You're going to want to hear from them. You're going to want to learn how to travel to South Africa safely and with ease. And when it comes to doing business, hear from experts who have done it. I'll be speaking, a lot of my friends will be speaking, and you're going to get so much value from this conference because we've made the mistakes, okay? We had the challenges, and we're going to tell you how you can avoid those challenges. So if you have an interest in moving to South Africa, traveling for a long, extended period of time, or even doing business, join us at the Travel, Move, Do Business virtual conference for South Africa. The link is in the description. And we'll see you at the virtual conference. Until the next video, we'll see you soon.